Hello, and welcome back to Work. During the month of March, our podcast will focus on women making strides in the tech, life sciences, healthcare, and engineering fields as part of our four-part series. I'm Joe McIntyre, your host for this podcast, and on the second episode of our four-part series, we'll be exploring the topic of women in the healthcare industry. Today, we'll be speaking with Torres, who has more than 21 years in the healthcare recruiting space, with a majority of those at Yale. Starting as a recruiter in 2008, Christine worked her way up the ladder and is currently the Director of Healthcare Practices at Yale. Christine, thanks for joining us.
Joe, thank you so much for the introduction. Once again, my name is Torres. My passion for healthcare stemmed at a very young age. It was during my early career working at USC Hospital where I truly understood the physician and patient care side of the business. Working in the medical billing department gave me the necessary tools and medical terminology that is needed in this industry. In addition, being relevant and knowledgeable are also key components. Reading latest articles and blogs can help advance your field, stay updated, and offer patient care, which is overall the goal.
Certainly. So, Christine, obviously, this is Women's History Month, so we want to talk about your experience in your role, and then also as a recruiter and director of healthcare practices, how you've helped other women. So, question being, what do you see as the biggest challenges facing women today in the healthcare industry, and how do you think we as an industry can overcome them?
It's a great question, especially being Women's Month and yesterday International, so that was wonderful. During my early career in staffing, women were predominantly holding administrative or HR roles, and not many held sales or recruiting titles. Thankfully, things have drastically changed, and I'm proud to be working side by side with many successful and highly knowledgeable women in the industry. However, the biggest challenges are that even though women make up 70% of the worldwide healthcare workforce, in fact, only 25% are in positions of power. Women have a harder time landing position of power as compared to their male counterparts. Professional women in healthcare face unwavering career roadblocks that most men do not encounter. So some of these are family responsibilities, less developed female leadership networks, and limited opportunities for career advancement. Fortunately, during my career at Yale, I've been able to stay in a leadership role while raising a family of my own, 3 kids. However, it can be challenging at times. It is all about finding the right balance, staying organized, and tackling many obstacles at once. It is all about having a good support system, both in the workplace as well as the house.
Perfect. And I think historically, women have been forced to probably not through no result of their own, but had that responsibility of I need to work and also manage the household at the same time. Do you think that that's changing at all? Are women kind of and men also understanding that the work of being a parent, being a spouse, cannot just fall on the shoulders of women. It's got to be divided equally between men and women. I'm sure there's been some progress, but maybe you would say it's probably not enough.
I mean, absolutely. I think, given if you look back at my parents, for example, my mother was considered as a housewife, and my father went to work and traveled a lot. Now, actually, I was fortunate enough for my husband to take paternity leave and help. And there are days that I have to travel. I just mentioned I'm traveling to a healthcare conference. Therefore, my husband has to take some time off of work to take care of the children. So there is an equal balance. I would love to see more of that. I think we are going into that, and jobs are understanding the situation. So absolutely, it has improved throughout the years, and I feel that women have more of a voice to express their need and their thirst to work full-time hours, but also be able to take some time for their family as well.
Yeah. I think compared to the other industries that we're going to explore in this four-part series, those being tech, life sciences, and industry engineering, women have been working in the healthcare industry for quite some time. But that, as you said, that doesn't mean that they have any certain leg up or any certain advantage that other women would in other industries. So, as someone who's focused in the recruiting space, how do you make sure that the people you're hiring, specifically the women that Yo is working to place with other companies and its clients, have that same exact advantage, same exact opportunity that men have in the healthcare space?
Absolutely. Honestly, by adding more ladies to the healthcare leadership table,
Yeah.
patients can receive more in depth healthcare since women can relate personally to the type and quality of care other women seek and receive. Women also have a rare innate advantage to becoming leaders, like more likely to practice humility, enhance relationship building skills, the thirst for knowledge and challenge, an ability to collaborate with others, and honestly, a strong desire to make a positive change. The more women in healthcare leadership, the more opportunities there are to showcase their strengths and abilities to overcome adversity. Throughout the history, females have proven time and time again that they deserve a seat at the leadership table. Moving forward, we must raise the bar in healthcare leadership and honestly offer ladies a chance to use their voice to promote positive change.
Yeah. I mean, certainly as a recruiter, a lot of the I don't know if it's necessarily a responsibility, but there is a responsibility to ensure that the candidates you're offering to clients are do come from diverse backgrounds, do come from diverse experiences, and whatever it may be. In your work as a healthcare recruiter, what steps do you take to ensure that you're attracting and retaining, helping clients retain a diverse talent pool?
Well, absolutely. Honestly, the most important qualities working in this industry is listening.
Yeah.
It may sound easy, but it's actually harder than you think. We always have opinions. But a lot of my clients, for example, they really need someone that just listens to their pain points. In our industry, we call it the 20-80 rule, 80% listening and 20% responding. Even though I'm a salesperson at heart, I truly consider myself as a consultant, an advocate of the quality of patient care. And being honest in this industry goes a long way, both to the candidate perspective as well as to the client perspective. And throughout my career, I think, I've made a lot of mistakes. And learning from those and striving to do better is what I try to teach my staff, myself, in order to be relevant and humble. Other qualities one should have in this industry should be empathetic, detail oriented, adaptable. And as a leader, the one thing that I usually teach my staff is that you're a creator of your own destiny. Make it your own while being unique. Be different. It's okay to be different because you'll be memorable.
Love that. Now, what do you think are some of the maybe biggest misconceptions people have about working in healthcare? Whether that's hours, difficulty of the job, just general experiences with the healthcare industry in general, and how do you address those misconceptions when either working with clients or potential clients or even candidates?
Actually, there are many misconceptions about working in the healthcare industry. If you research healthcare careers, you'll find that while some of the assumptions you had were right, others may be wrong. There are a wide variety of jobs, work settings, and duties in the healthcare field. There are many healthcare jobs beyond the traditional doctor and nurse positions. Healthcare professionals are needed to help patients when they literally first walk into the doctor's office to after they leave. Even though hospitals are open 24/7 and most clinics have longer hours to better serve the public, it's not uncommon for some healthcare workers to work a normal 9 to 5 shift during the week. If you are someone who doesn't want to work directly with patients, there are still options for those professions. Many healthcare jobs do not involve direct patient care, and they can actually pursue an administrative role, which we call them most likely case management. Personally, one of my areas of expertise is occupational health. Occupational and environmental health professionals deliver health and safety programs and services to workers, populations, and community groups. The practice focuses on promotion, restoration of health, prevention of illness and injury, and protection from work-related and environmental hazards. It was fortunate enough that that was my area of expertise because during the pandemic, that was something that was needed. I actually work with distribution centers like Target, for example. You would never think a nurse would be needed there, or a banking system, or a food manufacturing company. But these are the opportunities that we actually are fortunate enough to partner up and find healthcare professionals. Also it helps retain the workers and help them feel safe.
Yeah. Certainly the pandemic put a strain on a lot of industries, and healthcare probably the biggest one. Do you, as someone who's in recruiting, do you find it has made your job more challenging to source candidates, or Yo's job, I guess, more challenging to source candidates for healthcare roles, or has kind of the pandemic just reshaped every industry, and healthcare is no exception?
I think the pandemic opened up so much doors for healthcare professionals. We saw a lot of nurses that just graduated, for example, and were provided opportunities that they wouldn't have gotten prior to the pandemic. So it really did give them a lot more opportunities, experiences where they wouldn't before. It also actually raised the bar in having them to have a voice and feel even more acknowledgeable than they did before. You hear time and time again, nurses are the heroes. Healthcare professionals were the heroes. It put a lot of strain on them. Personally, my husband actually works in the healthcare industry as well. He works for a well-known hospital out here in Southern California, and it was a lot of grueling hours, but it was very rewarding for him to be right in the front line. They had to be double masked. They had to take protocols. Patients were being as patient as they usually are. So it did put a lot of strain in the industry, but a lot of advantages as well. And nowadays, the market has changed. It is a candidate's market right now. There are so many candidates out there that are very acknowledged and respected in this industry now, and demand higher pay, which really gave them a leg up in this industry.
Yeah, you mentioned that changing dynamic there. As someone who works for a recruiting and staffing and talent firm, how do you kind of balance the needs of the employer with the needs of the job seeker, with the candidate, and kind of what strategies do you use to ensure that both parties are satisfied with the hiring process and have the best outcome for both?
Yeah. Again, it's all about listening, right, to the needs of the clients as well as the needs of the candidate seeking the employment. Sometimes we actually have clients wanting someone that is merely impossible to find. We call that in my world the purple squirrel. But we provide alternative skill sets and education that can satisfy the clients, so they don't feel like they're just settling, but also you know open to our consultation. That's why I said I'm more of a consultant, and they don't feel like they just settled. So what we do is comparable to a matchmaking service. Clients come to us because we are knowledgeable about the market as well as the candidate pool. We can truly be honest with them and provide feedback that would eliminate anyone's time being wasted. A thorough job intake meeting is essential. Touring the facility and meeting the team is crucial as well. Nowadays, it's not just about the education and the experience in order to find that perfect candidate. It really is about personality, which is equally as important. So, what I propose is if I'm not able to actually see the environment itself and talk to the teams, um, how am I expected to sell a product if I've never seen it? So once we do identify several candidates after a job intake that seem to fit the bill, we give them options. In my world, we'll give them close to what they're looking for, something that after I've toured the facility, what I feel that would be the best fit, and someone that's pretty average. We start facilitating the interview process, and then obviously again stress the importance of on-site interviews, which is crucial to this business. Both parties must feel comfortable with the job duties. We ask the client not only their feedback, but the candidate. It's important for us. And the importance of finding that right candidate honestly matches and guarantees a successful placement. It is truly our goal to make all parties feel that they have a sense of purpose and fulfillment.
Now, you mentioned this a little bit before about how Yo works to place women in leadership roles, but why would a candidate choose to work with Yo as a recruiter over some of the other recruitment firms? What does Yo kind of bring to the table from a hiring perspective, from a DE&I perspective, especially for women that other firms may not? What makes Yo unique?
To be honest with you, I mean, throughout my career here at Yo, I personally have seen and held many positions. I started off as a recruiter, and I transitioned shortly after that as a sales, business development sales is what we call it, and then I held a manager title, and then director title, team lead title. So I have actually personally experienced that. And I have seen many of my counterparts also experience it as well. We do have many divisions here. And to be honest with you, in our healthcare sector, it actually, most of the female of my counterparts make up healthcare division. I think we have probably over 85% that are represented by women. So I don't see that often in other divisions as well as other organizations. And once again, I did come from a different staffing background prior to Yo, so I am able to notice the difference. And also, another great thing is the leadership here. They truly respect me and my counterparts, and I even am very close with the CEO as well as the president. And specifically when the pandemic occurred, I immediately got a call from the CEO or the president and said, give me your knowledge, give me your advice. And that speaks volumes. And even to this day, they still speak our mentor. And I feel that that is crucial in any organization, to be respected as well as treated equally to our male counterparts.
Finally, Christine, I'm going to ask you to take your crystal ball out for a second. What do you kind of see as the future of healthcare recruitment? How do you think the industry is going to evolve over the next 5 to 10 years, and where do you see it headed? In the not too distant future.
I mean, we've already seen big changes within even our organization. I mean, these positive changes stemmed from the COVID-19 pandemic, which forced most organizations to send their office-based workers packing to work remotely. Within the past few years, surveys within our organization have shown that remote workers are more productive, happier, and less stressed, with significant positive effects on their work. Actually, my team has a well-balanced, work-life balance. I think that's really crucial. We have a lot of flexibility, and I've already seen a big difference. And actually, they're more successful now than they were before. So the impact of personal autonomy on employee happiness with flexible working policies has found to improve productivity, retention, and worker well-being. We've also noticed that 1 in 3 employees prioritize benefit packages when searching for new jobs. That's what we're seeing in the candidate. And flexibility is the number one benefit desired across our industry. So when talking to a candidate, even if I have a really great salary to offer, the first thing they said is, what's the flexibility like in this position? Is there any remote work? That's key right now, and I think we need to continue that. Um, Increased productivity engagement will engender really more trust from business leaders who will shift towards a new way of working. Working remotely was not an option during my early careers. Um, Even though it wasn't, I'm thankful that I was able to experience both. But I'm excited now that we are able to given that chance. But also we have collaboration days as well. So it actually makes it even more exciting now to go back to the office and actually collaborate with the team. Um, Honestly, we need to just continue. You asking me in the crystal ball, I think we just need to continue in investing in our employers and employees, and really ensure the importance of making them feel supported and invaluable. Okay.
All right, Christine, as we close out this podcast, I'm sure some listeners may want to get in touch with you. How should they go about doing that?
Well, absolutely. Either way, we're now available via Zoom, Teams, text. I'll give you my contact information. I would love to be in touch with anybody listening here. And if anybody needs advice or seek employment, my email address is Christine, CHRISTINE, period. Torres is my last name, TORRES @YOH.com. My cell phone number is 818-918-1643.
Well, Christine, thank you so much for joining us on this show. I think it was fantastic conversation, and it's great to get to talk about some of the strides women have made in the healthcare space, and I'm sure plenty more strides to come.
Well, thank you, Joe. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for having me speak on behalf of women in the healthcare industry. It's really an honor to be able to have some kind of voice, and I just wish everybody safe. And like I said, please contact me. I'm also on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. So looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And to our listeners, be sure to tune in to our next episode as we talk about women in the tech space. Again, to hear any past or future episodes of this podcast, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen in. For Yo's Back to Work, I'm Joe McIntyre. Thanks for listening.